everyone, it's Sharona from Pay Your Weight, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Netflix series Hollywood, which is now streaming on the Netflix platform. This series is created by Ryan Murphy and Ann Brennan, who gave us some of our favorite shows. They gave us Glee, Scream Queens, and most recently, The Politician, which is also on Netflix. The series stars David Cornsweet, Darren Criss, Jeremy Pope, and Laura Harrier, and everybody. It's a lot of people in this series, you guys. I could sit here and name all the characters, but it would take too long. So this series centers around a group of aspiring actors and filmmakers in post-World War II Hollywood as they strive to make it big no matter the cost. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came, I hope you stay. I tell you what I enjoyed about the series, what I didn't like about the series, and is it worth your time on this lovely May 1st? Is it worth your time binging this series or not? So going into what I enjoyed about Hollywood, one of the things that really sticks out to me is really this overarching theme of talent versus identity. And I would have to say my favorite episode that really encompasses what that theme was is episode 4 titled Screen Test, which was directed by the talented Janet Mock. And I really want to give a shout out to Ryan Murphy and Ian Brennan for really understanding that since this episode really focuses on the struggle of Archie, played by Jeremy Pope, who is an aspiring screenwriter who is quickly reminded that his identity as a Black man will always overpower his talent as a screenwriter. I really appreciate them for bringing Janet's voice and also, too, most importantly, her direction to this episode. I think that this is hands down one of my favorite episodes in the entire series. But also, too, if you guys, when we get to award season, if you did not submit episode 4, especially for the performance that Jeremy Pope gives in this episode alone, you guys, you're doing a disservice just to humanity as a whole, because he killed it in this episode. And Archie's storyline is really one of my favorite characters, but I really think it's the performance that Jeremy Pope gives that really makes you invested and interested, and you really want Jeremy, his real name, you really want Archie to succeed as you kind of see what he goes throughout the course of this series. But most importantly, I think that when Hollywood is really at its best is when it focuses on this revisionist history. It focuses on the what ifs. What if we allow people to not be blocked by what the color of their skin is, but more about what the talent that they bring to whatever production or whatever area that they're trying to break through in Hollywood. And I think we see this. I want to give a shout out to them really encompassing the storylines of Camille, who remind me of actresses during the time such as Dorothy Dandridge, who were great actresses, but however, due to the color of their skin, they were always reduced to playing stereotypical roles like maids or slaves. And also too with Anna May Wong, who they did so dirty in the past, Lord, just forgive them, because they didn't know what they were doing. But Michelle Krusik plays Anna May Wong, who looks exactly like Anna May Wong. But I think it's very important to include how women of color during that time, how they were reduced to this very low and stereotypical representations of what society thought their culture was, which really blocked them from being able to truly showcase their talent as actresses, and really blocked them from being able to break through and prosper in the entertainment industry. And I really appreciate the inclusion of their storylines to showcase that, but most importantly, to showcase that some of the issues that we have been talking about when we see things such as Oscar So White, and we talk about how we don't see a lot of representation or diversity when we see movies, when we get to award season. I love that even though we're talking about, a time, 60 years ago, 60 plus or 50 plus years ago, it really helps to showcase why these topics are so important today. And I love that they show what a world in Hollywood would look like if people actually wanted to be rebels, wanted to start the revolution and become revolutionaries, to really push boundaries, to push these ideals, and to really let people shine and prosper in the industry. But also too, one of the moments that really stood out to me was the inclusion of Hattie McDaniels, played by Queen Latifah, who, she was one of the first Black nominations and wins for her role in Gone with the Wind. I really love that we get to see not only two women attempting to break down barriers in this series, but what it would look like if we don't have, this is the first Black woman and there's no one that's come after her. But what if we really allow people to be rewarded for their talent and they actually had the camaraderie, but also too, they didn't have to go through these situations alone of being the one and only and never having anyone to really share the experience of what they're going through. And I thought a moment of what we see between these two characters, I thought it was a very important, very neat, and it's something that really stuck with me after this series was over. But also too, I really do appreciate them, and also including the trials of women during that time. What if women were allowed to run the boardrooms? What if women were allowed to have positions of power behind the scenes as well, and making these decisions at these studios? And we get to see this with Avis's character, played by the great Patti LuPone. I really love that they try to encompass and tackle so many different issues that we're still talking about today. But I want to give a shout out to Sarah Evelyn, who is in charge of costume design, because Hollywood, they just did such a great job with the costumes, even the hair and makeup team. I truly felt that I was being thrust up into this old Hollywood and what that looked like. And I thought that everything just looked stunning. The actors looked stunning. Everyone just looked absolutely beautiful, even with the production design as well. But even though there are a lot of things that I enjoyed about Hollywood, I did have some issues. Most of those issues came from a writing standpoint. While watching this series, it's 7 episodes, I believe, in the series, I felt that the first 3 episodes are a completely different series in its entirety compared to episodes 4 through 7. There's a lot of scandal that happens in the first 3 episodes, a lot that kind of caught my attention, and I was like, okay, let me see how this plays out real quick. But while I was watching through the first 3 episodes, I found myself questioning, like, what is this series supposed to be about? Where is the what ifs? Where is this revisionist history? And it isn't until we get into episode 4 is when they truly find their footing and what really makes Hollywood a great series to watch on Netflix right now. And I felt as though if they would have condensed kind of the things that happened in the first 3 episodes into 1 episode, it would allow more opportunity for them to flesh out more characters. Even characters like Camille and Annie Mae Wong, I felt as though that they needed to have a little bit more screen time than what they actually have to really delve into kind of the struggles, that their characters were facing in this series. And because they waste time on episodes 1 through 3, and even focusing on characters that really aren't that interesting, even though I like David Cornsweet, I didn't really care about his character Jack. And the first 3 episodes of the season, it really focuses on his character and also too kind of what's happening in this car wash. It's not a car wash. It's kind of, you guys, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but I felt as though that episodes 4 through 7, even though they're good because they're focusing on this revisionist history, it felt as though that they start to kind of rush through everything. And because they rush through so much, there's a lot of issues that they kind of just let go along the wayside. For instance, there are 2 couples in the series that are in interracial relationships. And even though we focus on the struggles of what it is to be people of color in this industry, what it is to love who you love, we don't really go into the serious implications of what would happen if you were caught dating someone outside of your race, but also more importantly, what that would look like in Hollywood. And because these characters really don't go through anything serious based on who the people based on the color of their skin, it feels as though that even some of the struggles that the characters face, even though they try to throw in aspects of what was happening during that time, it felt that the struggles that the characters went through, they just overcame things a little bit too easy, to the point where it just made you feel as though that's not actually how that would happen if we were doing this time. But even though we had those issues, overall for me, I actually really enjoyed Hollywood. I binged this entire series in a day. I just wanted to keep watching the episode after episode after episode. And I will tell you that it was helpful for me. I watched a documentary called Scotty and the Secret Life of Hollywood. You can watch it on Amazon Prime for free. Don't say I never helped you out. I think that there's a lot of scandalous things that happen in this series that you will almost believe that they had to have made that up. But having watched that documentary before I actually went into Hollywood, I was just like, wow, this stuff really happened. Like, they was really getting down like this. So I would definitely recommend that to you guys. Even if you want to watch it after the fact, I think it will help you understand some of the characters and realize that a lot of the things that happen in this series, they were real things that were happening during that time. But what I would tell you guys to do with your time, I would say that Hollywood is definitely worth the binge this weekend. So if you've seen Hollywood, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. What did you think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Just be respectful in my comment section. But those are pretty much my thoughts on Hollywood. As always, my name is Sharronda from Pair of Weights, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. I'll see you soon.